Hi everyone and welcome to another video from displayrepair.com. If you worked around the car, namely the engine, then at least once you've dropped something in the engine bay. That helpless feeling of seeing a nut, bolt, a wrench, extension, a bit or whatever disappear into the dark pit of the engine bay is one of the worst, to be honest. In this video we'll show you some ways to solve this problem, so stay tuned. displayrepair.com. This tip may seem somewhat awkward, but from personal experience it works very good. The moment you've dropped something in the engine bay, try to trace the path where it might have went. Believe it or not, many times the lost item didn't go that far and may be just under a panel or holder. For instance, if you've dropped something, immediately replay where your hand was, where did you last leave the item, and so on. It just might happen that there is a logical pattern, and with a bit of luck you'll find the lost item. If you've concluded that the item has gone deep into the engine bay, immediately get some sort of lighting. Without it, your chances for finding are seriously reduced, if not totally diminished. For a first aid measure, a cell phone light will help you, but that's pretty risky because you can easily damage or drop the phone. But if you want the real deal, then best use a fully sized flashlight, and in this case the bigger the better. To be more precise, use one with a lot of bright light. A good solution are the LED flashlights. Even better are cordless work lamps with a magnetic base. Lights that are mounted on the head and neck are also a good option. With these you'll get a very good illumination, be able to comfortably work around the engine bay, and have a free hand if needed. If you've dropped something in the engine bay, a fairly common outcome is that it will fall right to the ground. This is especially the case if there's more space in the engine bay and there's no protective undertray. Best take the flashlight or work light and comb through every part of the ground under the engine bay. If you're sure that it fell on the ground, push the car away to reach it easier. Just make sure it's there so you don't lose trace. Regarding this topic, it's useful to mention that it's always good to work around the car on a firm surface like concrete or tiles. Grass, dirt or mud should be avoided as much as possible. This is one more method worth trying, although it is a long shot. Go by the side of the car and carefully grab the fender at the top and rock the car up and down. If you can, sway it a bit sideways. It may help, as the lost item may fall either on the ground or on the plastic under tray. Also, it may help in easier finding it. When it falls, it may give away a clunking, clanging, clicking or other sound that will help you locate it easier. Many times, the lost item will fall in a place where you can't see it. This is especially a problem with crammed engine bays, where you often have to dismantle lots of parts to reach inside. To avoid this, a simple mirror can help you very much. You can use the small household mirror, but the best solution is the telescopic inspection mirror. It has a convenient antenna-like extension and a small mirror at the end. Very good for reaching all parts of the engine bay. But if you don't have this at hand, you can improvise with a stick and mirror, or just use the mirror by itself. A grabber tool is a lifesaver when you accidentally drop something into the engine bay. There are various kinds of grabber tools. For this problem, perhaps the best is the flexible pickup claw. It's very convenient for getting into all of the tight spots, and with some patience you can get almost anything out. When buying one, pay attention to the length of the grabber tool. If you buy one that's too short, it may prove to be useless in some situations. The length should be such that when the end of the claw reaches the bottom of the engine bay or the under tray, the handle is still above the engine. Also make sure that the claws have a strong enough grip so the lost item doesn't easily fall back again. Just like the pickup claw, this tool is simple yet very effective. Definitely something you want to have in your toolbox. Using it is simple. Just extend the tool, put it near the lost item, and once it's attached, slowly pull it out. Make sure when buying a magnetic pickup tool to buy one that extends long enough and, more importantly, with a strong enough magnet. It may mean the difference between being able to pull something out or it dropping off and getting lost again. But what if you dropped something in the engine bay and it's non-magnetic? Well, then some sort of adhesive tape may save the day. In this case, the stickier the tape, the better. From personal experience, the best tape for this purpose is the double-sided one. The best way to apply this method is to stick the tape on the mentioned grabber tool, magnetic pickup tool, a stick extension, or else. The point is to get the sticky part of the tape on the outside so it can bind with the lost item. One more good way for non-magnetic parts is to use a metal hook. A good thing about this is that you can make the tool by yourself. The most common way is to use a piece of wire and bend it into a hook shape. Best use some thicker and tougher wire that won't bend open when you hook out the lost item. But there's even a better solution when you drop something into the engine bay. Take a used wiper blade and take out the metal inserts that hold the rubber. These are long, stiff and narrow, making it the perfect material for a hook. It will be a bit tough to bend, but as you'll see, much better than a wire. You can even bend a handle at the other end. You can watch a separate video on how to get these inserts and how to replace wiper fills by clicking on the link. In today's high-tech world, this is one of the most useful tools. All you have to do is activate the endoscope camera and go around the places where you suspect the item may have fell. The cord attached to the camera usually gives you the possibility to maneuver through tight spots. Perhaps the best place where the endoscope camera simply shines and is a lifesaver is when a nut or screw falls into the air intake, for instance. Instead of having to take apart everything, you push the camera inside, assess the situation, and with some luck you can fish the item out. There's a good chance that when you drop something in the engine bay, it will end up on the plastic protective undertray. If it does, of course, try to retrieve it, but if it fails, then you'll have to take the tray off. On some cars it's pretty simple to do, while on some it may prove to be a serious task. Nevertheless, do it if you have to. Sometimes it's better to invest more time in dismantling than in pointless fishing out and searching. One more option is to take off the engine cover, especially if it's easy to do. It will give you a lot more working space and significantly improve the chances for finding what you've lost. Just like with the under tray, on some cars it may be simple, while on others it may be more complicated. We made a separate video on this specific topic. If you're interested, you can take a look by clicking on the link. Just like solving a lot of situations around the car, patience is a key factor for a positive outcome. When this happens, stop, calm down, think it through, and then react. Throwing a fit or walking around in despair will solve nothing. On the contrary, it will only make things worse. Also, try to prevent all of this from even happening in the first place. Think when putting parts and tools aside and watch how you handle them. For the end, one more piece of advice. Make sure to retrieve what you lost in the engine bay. The last thing you would want is for a wrench, screw, or nut getting into the vital parts of the engine, like for instance the serpentine belt. If this isn't possible in any way, then at least make sure it's somehow secure so it doesn't damage something in the engine bay. So that's it for this time. Please like and subscribe, it's a huge help for what we're doing. Visit us at our website despairrepair.com where you can find more useful car and driving tips. Thanks for your time and thanks for watching.